New Disney CEO Bob Chapek was confronted by an investor about ongoing issues at ABC News on Wednesday, but the high-powered executive brushed off the criticism, and the investor then blasted him for having his head in the sand when it comes to the pervasive anti-conservative bias across ABC News.
Justin Danhoff, the general counsel for the National Center for Public Policy Research, cited data showing ABC News is overwhelmingly negative toward President Trump and mentioned other scandals that have come out of the news division in recent memory when speaking to Chapek at the company's annual investors meeting.
ABC News suspends David Wright for remarks made in Project Veritas video.
ABC News recently suspended veteran Washington correspondent David Wright for remarks he made that were captured on video by Project Veritas. The controversial Project Veritas is the same group that published footage of ABC anchor Amy Robach claiming ABC News executives killed a story that would have exposed the now-deceased sex offender Jeffrey Epstein 3 years ago.
Danhoff, who has shown up to Disney shareholder meetings to ask fiery questions in the past, told Chapek that he had been imploring former CEO Bob Iger to address ABC News issues for years.
ABC News' Amy Robach caught on hot mic saying network spiked her Epstein bombshell.
Danhoff asked Chapek directly, "What steps can you take to return objectivity to ABC and when can we expect to see balanced coverage return?"
Chapek responded by saying that his very first trip after being named the new CEO was to visit ABC News. He said he was overwhelmed by professionalism and objectivity of the news division but admitted Wright said some things on the Project Veritas video to make the company question his objectivity.
But Chapek stayed positive and dismissed the other criticism, saying ABC News has a stellar track record of being objective and reporting the news, and will continue to do so in the future.
ABC News suspends Matt Gutman for falsely reporting all of Kobe Bryant's children were on doomed helicopter.
Meet the new boss, same as the old boss, Danhoff told Fox News following the meeting, referencing a famous The Who lyric. Mr. Chapek seems content to stick his head in the sand when it comes to the pervasive anti-conservative bias across ABC News, just as his predecessor Mr. Iger always was. The bias is blatant.
ABC News declined to comment when reached by Fox News.
In addition to what all Americans witness on a daily basis, Project Veritas has recently exposed numerous examples of ABC journalists admitting that the network bosses repeatedly spike positive stories on President Trump, Danhoff said.
While Chapek was positive and largely avoided Danhoff's criticism, his comment that Wright's objectivity is questionable coincides with the network's decision to suspend the veteran reporter.
Wright was disciplined after higher-ups at ABC News reviewed footage in which Wright described himself as a socialist and criticized the network for the way in which it chooses to present the news.
"I feel terrible about it. I feel that the truth suffers, the voters are poorly informed, and people also have the opportunity to tune into whatever they want to hear," Wright said in the video, which also featured an ABC News producer. "And so, it's like there's no upside, or our bosses don't see an upside in doing the job we're supposed to do, which is to speak truth to power and hold people accountable."
Click here to get the Fox News app.
Wright then expounded at length on his political views. "I would consider myself a socialist, like I think there should be national health insurance," he said. "I'm totally fine with reining in corporations, I think there are too many billionaires, and I think there's a wealth gap, that's a problem."
A rep for ABC News told Fox News he would be reassigned after serving his suspension, and an insider said he was hoodwinked into making the statements on camera.
Back in 2018, Danhoff confronted then-CEO Iger about ABC News' Joy Behar, who was under fire at the time for comments that mocked Vice President Pence's Christian faith. Disney named Chapek the new CEO last month after Iger abruptly stepped down.